Cory, I don't think you're gonna die. I expect you to die. Too.
Oh no.
Another relaxing mission. And while you'll need to go undercover and make use of our latest disguise technology, you'll also enjoy traveling in style to luxurious locales. Of course, the agency will provide a well-balanced meal plan.
Cory, Schell Games are back again, dude. It is I Expect You to Die 2, The Spy and the Liar. What a fantastic game, man. I got goosebumps already just talking about it. I was so excited to see that Schell Games came back with another one. Finished the first one. It was fantastic. It was so cool. It is basically it's a VR puzzle spy game, essentially, right? What were your impressions of it?
Well, I've played a couple escape room style VR games in the past, and my biggest run-in before I get into many details about this particular game is I have issues picking up things off the ground. Mainly just because I've got Cosmos Elite, so I've got the sensors. There's one actually in the back there, and it just doesn't necessarily pick up where the distance of the floor is compared to me, so I could never reach things for certain games. Well, this game's done a really good job because you have telekinetic powers in this one. You have the ability to basically, as long as you can see it, you can grab it and pick it up. So that right off the bat already made this a better experience than most of the ones I've already had kind of in this genre with VR. And I thought they laid this out really good, Drew. Like we're a spy coming back for the second time around, and we're trying to take down the organization here and foil their big plan, right? And the idea is to kind of save the world. And they laid it out in kind of a way that was done really well. The tutorial was short and sweet, but gave you a good feel for what you need to do and how to kind of control yourself in this world. And I thought they did a really good job. It felt polished. I mean, a lot of VR games are kind of clunky, so it's tough to get that, grab and use, and those easy kind of simple things we take for granted in a lot of regular games to get it, done really well in VR. And I thought they did it good here, Drew. I had a lot of fun playing this game, but like you said, there's a lot of dying, and you should expect to die when you play this because there's a lot of trial and error here.
Dude, it was funny. So I'm playing the game, right? And Crystal asked me, "What are you playing?" And I went, "Austin Powers." I went, "Oh no, wrong game. That's not. I'm not. I went to the Spy Who Shagged Me." I went, "No, that's wrong." But that's the charm of the game, right? It kind of brings that Austin Powers-esque kind of scenario to the world of I Expect You to Die too. It's so charming. It's so well written. The dialogue is fantastic. The voiceovers are awesome. It's just an enjoyable experience. You sit there, dude. Like some puzzles took me overall, by the time you complete it, it gives you a time of like maybe 10-15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, depending on how fast you can get through it. But that's after I've died 3 or 4 times to figure out where I needed to get, right? I'm getting gas, I'm getting shot by lasers, I'm getting people shooting at me with darts and things like this. And it's just so crafty and unique to experience a game like this. And like you say, how polished the game is too, right? I didn't feel clunky whatsoever. Everything I looked to achieve within the game was doable, right? It was not like, okay, I know it's supposed to work, but it's not working. But every time I tried it, dude, it worked. Like it was just right there. And I love the setup of the game. I absolutely love this whole spy scenario that they have going for it. It's fantastic. If you didn't play the first one, it continues off of the first one, so I recommend you go back, play that one first, and then jump into this. Technically, you can get into this one without playing the first one. It explains it relatively quickly what happens, and right, like even the bad guys picked up on it, so it was cool. It really, dude, it's a charming game for VR, and it's one experience that you have to play.
Oh, definitely.
I knew that voice was familiar. Agent, she's a Zoraxis operative known as the Fabricator. That is not an idle threat. Stay alive until I can get an evac team to you.
Hey!
Cory, what I like too about the options is the ability to either stand or sit down when you play the game. A lot of these companies try to do both things, and sometimes they don't necessarily work. I sat when I played, and I thought it was great. Everything was, like you say, right, in reach, because you have the ability to use your powers to reach for things that you normally wouldn't have to be able to get to. But what did you stand, or were you sitting?
No, actually, I did sitting as well. There's a lot of VR games that we play that give you the option to stand or sit. I find sometimes when you're in a smaller space, sitting is easier, but not every game kind of executes it that well. They've done a really good job here because more often than not, you're sitting behind a desk or you're always in a sitting position in the game, so it really tailors to it well. So I found that very nice. And like you said, the controls make it easy. You can point, click, grab, do whatever you need to do from the one position. So you're not moving around, smacking controllers off the walls, kicking your dog by accident. Like it's nice to be able to play in a way where the controls, are kind of seamless in that manner.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the difficulty level of this game, when there's this trial and error of every time you go into this level, you're switching this button and then you die, and then okay, don't do that next time, and you're jumping back and forth. If you've never played a game like this before and you want to try to get into something like this, it can be a little difficult to kind of stick with it if you find it a little disheartening when you die every time, right? And you're trying different things, and some of these puzzles kind of get you stuck a little bit. So if you do have a difficult time with this, you might not have that. I guess on one end, some people have that one more try mentality, you know what I mean? You might not get that necessarily here if you get too frustrated. And then doing all of this in a VR world just kind of stacks a little bit. So if I had to fault this game for anything, is that the difficulty spike is pretty high if you're not willing to put the time in to kind of understand how they want you to play this game. So, I mean, if you're just jumping in, trying to have a good time, escape room style, you may find yourself a little bit, deceived in that sense, where this game is difficult. So you have to invest a little bit of time in figuring these puzzles out, because when you do get to the end of the puzzles and you kind of work through, it is pretty rewarding. I mean, overall, I had a blast through it.
Overall, dude, I had a great time. This game is fantastic. It's one of my favorite games on VR. It's one of the best games you have to experience. You own VR, get the game. Like, there's no doubt about it. For me, dude, I'm right there at the top for my score, too. I'm there with a 9. What are you at?
You know what? I can't fight you on that at all, Drew. I had too much fun playing this game. I think graphically it looks great. The audio throughout it gives us that, man of mystery, spy scene vibe. And they did a great job with that. So it just kind of envelops you even that much more than just being in the VR world already. So I'm right there with you with a 9 as well.
Awesome.
Perfect. Let's see. The fabricator's been making these masks, and Juniper's been using them to impersonate heads of state. But why? Perhaps the desk has more.
A great sequel that does a good job at putting you in the shoes of a super spy. Well thought out level design and great audio will keep you coming back as you try to solve the puzzles and save the world.
I can see you're settling in. Please make yourself comfortable.